Ahoy hoy! Hibby here at the homestead, and these are Arc'teryx Tactician AR gloves. Now I wanted to do a review on these gloves, and I put some serious work into these things. I've been working the Van Duzer corridor and falling some big timber and just using these things day in and day out. And I needed, the reason why I bought these gloves is I needed something that was all leather, because I work around spruce trees a lot, and they'll poke through the back sides of your gloves and stick into your hands and whatnot, and you get kind of have a rash from them. But so I needed something that was durable and to keep my hands warm, because it was about 40 degrees out there, and like 35 constantly, and rainy and wet, and just all around just miserable conditions. So I needed something to keep my hands warm and safe. So I bought these for about 125 bucks. And to me it made a lot of sense, because I go through and I buy these Atlas gloves, and they have like the insulated ones that are a little more thermal insulated, but your hands still just freeze in those things. And I go through about 2 pairs of those a week, so at about $4 to $6 a pair. By the end of the year, these paid for themselves, and my hands stayed warm, and I didn't have to worry about getting stuck in the back of the hand, because a lot of the gloves you find nowadays, they have leather on the palm, but they don't have leather on the back sides of the hand or up high. Another cool feature of these is they got some Velcro gauntlets on them, and that's really nice, because you get a real good snug fit that your jacket will go over real easily, and you don't have to worry about it bunching up, and then you have that separation between your jacket and your hand where snow and rain gets into and just drives you nuts and just feels weird. So when you gauntlet it up real tight like that, your jacket goes right over top of it, and there's no seam in between there, so you don't get that weird feeling between your hand and the jacket, and nothing can get into there. So that's really nice. Another good thing about them is they came with some liners in them, and the liners worked really well for a while, but from taking them on and off and pulling the glove on and off all the time, I ended up ripping the liner on the inside where it meets the cuff. And so what I just did is just fold the glove inside out and just cut the liner right out of them, and bought some North Face gloves, and those just fit perfectly right inside them. And these ones were a little bit warmer anyhow, so that was kind of a plus. So these gloves worked really great for anywhere from about 35 degrees to about, 80 degrees. I mean, once you take the liner out, you can just wear these just like leather gloves, and they're great in the heat too. The dexterity in these things are incredible. You don't even feel like you're wearing gloves at all. So I'd give those a 5 out of 5 for dexterity. And just comfortable. The fingers, they aren't too long. You're not going to put them on and have that floppy finger stuff going on. I got about a medium-sized hand, and I bought the medium glove, and there's enough space in the glove to where you get that vacuum so that your hands stay warm also. That's another tip. If you're buying gloves and they're too tight, that's going to cut the circulation off in your hands, and it's going to make your hands cold. So that's kind of defeating the purpose of wearing gloves to keep your hands warm. If they're too tight, they're going to make your hands cold. So bigger glove, better, because you have that air pocket in there to act as insulation. So I've had them for a year, and the left hand is looking like brand new still. It just fits better the older it gets. The right hand, however, I put some abuse into it, because this is my main hand for rigging and for utilizing the whiz saw, as they got a little throttle in there. I throttle that all the time. So I put quite a bit of work into the middle finger there. It's got a little bit of a hole going right there with the joint, and right in the thumb at the same seam, right in the joint. And that's not the glove's fault. That's just because I just put a total abuse on these things, and we use them every single day, and running ropes and rigging and falling timber, and just using my chainsaw with them non-stop. And they held up awesome. I'm definitely a fan of these things. I'm definitely going to give them a 5 out of 5. They're about the best thing I've ever put on my hands. It just puts a smile on your hand as soon as you pull them on. The great thing about them too is they're great for dexterity. So they're great shooter's gloves. I use them to shoot my bow and arrow, and they do fine. You can feel things with them on, but they're just bulletproof. I mean, I just had these on, and I'll take hawthorn branches and just grab them without even worrying about it. They're not going to poke through anywhere. And I seriously, just to show my buddy, because he didn't agree with, he thought it was kind of a joke, but I took the gloves and a hawthorn branch with a big thorn on it, about 2 inches long, and just slapped right into my palm just to show him it's not going through that. And it just obliterated the thorn, but I didn't even feel it in my palm one bit. So they're just amazing gloves. I mean, you can just run through the bush and just push things out of your way, no problem. You don't have to worry about it. So for the money, 125 bucks, it's a little expensive, but for how long these things are going to last for you, that's well worth the money in my opinion. Because you're going to buy other gloves at $40 a pop, and you might wear through them in a couple of weeks rather than these. Arc'teryx also has a really good return policy, and that if there's any factory defects like this finger splitting right here, you can send them in and they'll take care of them for you. Arc'teryx also does custom alterations on these things. So if you buy some and one of the fingers is all floppy on you, then you can just send them in and they'll tailor it down for you. However, they won't fix these ones because I put way too much abuse into them, and it's just kind of neglect to the product. So it's not really meant for me to be brutalizing them as bad as I did. But I think it's well worth the money. Another great feature on these gloves is when you flip them inside out, you can look at the seams. And they just did a great job of cutting the seams real small and tight, so that when you put these things on, you don't feel any of these seams at all. I mean, as you can see here, they're cut really well, so you don't feel the big knob on your finger when you put them in the glove. And there's no pressure points. There's no seams sitting on your knuckles and pushing into them. Like right there, you see that? It's just flat. The seams just run flat. And they're strong too. So once again, these are the Arc'teryx AR Tactician glove. Retails for about $125, and I give them a 5 out of 5, and I would absolutely purchase these again. Thanks, fellas. We'll see you next time. Never scared, always prepared, and God bless.